Time is life. So when you waste time, you're not just being lazy, you're slowly burying your destiny. There came a moment when I looked in the mirror and realized I was busy but not effective, moving but not progressing. I had talent, ideas, even ambition, but no traction until I made one decision that changed everything. If you're tired of going in circles, this is your wake-up call. It's time to start winning. You're not busy, you're unfocused. You're not lazy, you're unaligned. There's a difference between motion and movement, between activity and achievement. For years, I was caught in the cycle of being constantly occupied but never truly effective. I was running, yes, but I wasn't running toward anything. It's a dangerous place to be where you confuse exhaustion with progress. I thought I was productive, but in reality, I was just distracted. And then I realized something that shook me to my core. Time does not respond to your emotions. It responds to your decisions. You don't drift into purpose. You don't stumble into significance. You step into it intentionally. But you cannot step into something you don't understand. And that's when it hit me. The reason I was wasting time wasn't because I lacked effort. It was because I lacked clarity. Clarity of purpose is what unlocks the true power of time. Dr. Myles Munroe once said, when the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. That statement wrecked me because I realized I had been abusing my own time, saying yes to everything, being everywhere, doing anything. I was reacting to life instead of designing it. And that kind of living will keep you busy for years without ever touching your calling. The tragedy of life is not death. It's spending years doing what doesn't matter, becoming excellent at things that don't count, climbing a ladder that's leaning against the wrong wall. I had to confront this brutal truth. Busyness is not a badge of honor. It's often a mask for lack of direction. Purpose brings direction. It tells you what deserves your energy and what doesn't. It sifts through the noise and highlights the necessity. Without purpose, every opportunity looks like a blessing. But with purpose, you gain discernment because you finally know what to walk toward and what to walk away from. Every yes became strategic. Every no became sacred. And the shift wasn't external. It was internal. I stopped letting other people's urgency become my emergency. I stopped giving my schedule to everyone else's demands. I reclaimed my time by recentering my life around one thing. Why am I here? That question, why am I here, is the most powerful question a human being can ask. Not what do I do, not how do I get more followers, more money, more influence. The real power comes from purpose, because purpose gives your gifts direction. Purpose gives your time meaning. Purpose is what takes potential and gives it focus. See, potential without purpose is dangerous. It'll have you chasing applause instead of impact. It'll have you pursuing validation instead of legacy. It'll have you saying yes to good things while missing the God things. I had to stop being talented and start being targeted, because talent without direction is just a distraction. It was only when I began to understand my assignment that I started to make decisions that aligned with my future instead of my feelings. I began to ask hard questions. Is this relationship helping me grow or keeping me stuck? Is this job a resource for my purpose or a distraction from it? Are my daily habits serving my destiny or sabotaging it? Let me be honest. Alignment hurts. Purpose demands pruning. It will call you to say goodbye to people who only love the distracted version of you. It will require you to walk away from what's familiar so you can embrace what's fruitful. I had to unlearn the idea that being busy equals being effective. It doesn't. Only being purposeful guarantees that your time is producing fruit. There's a scripture that says, make the most of every opportunity because the days are evil. That's not just a warning, it's a strategy. Time is one of the only things you can never get back. Money lost can be regained. Relationships broken can be restored. But time wasted, that's gone forever. And yet so many of us treat time like we'll always have more of it. We act like purpose is optional. But let me tell you something. Purpose is not a luxury, it is a lifeline. It's not something you try to fit in your schedule when it's convenient. It's the very reason you exist. Purpose doesn't make life easier, it makes it clearer. It doesn't remove opposition, it gives you the strength to overcome it. When you live with purpose, distractions lose their power and detours lose their appeal. You stop chasing everything and start building something. You become focused, not frantic, centered, not scattered. And when you get to that place, your time becomes a weapon. Your focus becomes fire. Your days become deposits in your destiny. I remember the exact season I started to shift. I made a decision that I was no longer going to be a slave to the demands of a distracted world. I turned off the noise, stopped scrolling for approval, and started listening for divine instruction. I asked God to not just bless my days, but to direct them. I stopped trying to fit in and started standing up for the reason I was born. I stopped saying I'm too busy and started saying that's not aligned. I stopped overcommitting to things that drained me and started investing in what developed me. I started putting boundaries around my time, my thoughts, and my energy. Because purpose doesn't just give you permission, it gives you power. Power to walk away, power to focus, power to build, power to grow, power to prioritize. Now let me say this to you. You don't need more time. You need more clarity. Because when you know why you're here, you stop wasting time on things that were never meant to carry your name. Some of you have been giving your best to what doesn't matter and wondering why you feel empty. It's not because you're not working hard. It's because your work is disconnected from your purpose. You were not created to live on autopilot. You were born for impact, but impact is intentional. And impact starts when you stop allowing life to happen to you and start living on purpose. Every person I've ever studied who walked in greatness had one thing in common. They lived by purpose. Their schedule served it. Their friendship supported it. Their focus protected it. You don't win by accident. You win by alignment. That's why some of the most anointed people can still live in frustration, because their time is misaligned. Their gifts are powerful, but their priorities are out of place. When you live without purpose, you become reactive. You respond to everything. But when you live with purpose, you become proactive. You move with vision. You live by assignment. You speak with clarity. You lead with conviction. The moment you begin to see your time as sacred, everything changes. You wake up different, you move different, you speak different. You don't just fill your calendar, you fill your calling. And the best part, when you align with purpose, you activate divine support. Heaven responds to purpose. God does not anoint confusion, He anoints clarity. And when your vision is clear, your path gets power. If you want to stop wasting time, stop chasing what everyone else is doing. Start seeking what only you were born to do. That's where your power is. That's where your peace is. That's where your legacy is. You don't need to be everything to everyone. You just need to be you on purpose without apology. Purpose doesn't always look spectacular. Sometimes it looks like consistency. Sometimes it looks like sacrifice. Sometimes it looks like saying no to what's popular so you can say yes to what's powerful. But hear me clearly. Every time you choose purpose over convenience, heaven takes notice and your future begins to shift. So today I challenge you, take inventory of your time, take inventory of your energy. Are you truly investing in your assignment, or are you just existing in routines that are draining your power? Stop giving the best of you to the least important things. Stop living for likes and start living for legacy. Purpose is not a suggestion. It is the compass that keeps your life from drifting. It is the reason you were born. And once you understand that, your time becomes too valuable to waste. Your yes becomes too holy to give away freely. And your life becomes too meaningful to live on accident. You were not created to be busy. You were created to be effective. And effectiveness only comes through alignment. So stop running in circles. Stop trying to do everything. Start living by assignment. Because once you align with purpose, progress becomes inevitable, peace becomes natural, and your life becomes a reflection of heaven's intention. Let this be the season you stop wasting time and start walking in destiny. You've got too much in you to stay stuck, too much calling to stay distracted, too much legacy to live small. This is your moment. This is your time. This is your calling. Purpose is the key. Use it. Unlock your life. Discipline turns time into triumph, and that truth changed everything for me. Hear me clearly. Desire without discipline is a dream that dies slowly. And I had many dreams. Beautiful ones, powerful ones, but they sat still while my time moved forward. I kept waiting on a better season, waiting on motivation to rise, waiting on inspiration to strike like lightning. And then it hit me. Motivation is unreliable, but discipline is a decision that must be made daily, sometimes hourly, because without it, you'll drift in the tide of life instead of steering the ship of your destiny. I used to wait for motivation. Now I rely on commitment, because motivation feels good, but it fades fast. It's like a match. It burns bright but short. Discipline is the fire that keeps burning even when the winds of frustration, fatigue, and fear blow strong. It doesn't rely on how you feel. It's anchored in what you know. And here's what I learned. Success is predictable when discipline becomes your standard. It's not about chance. It's not about luck. It's about what you do consistently when no one is watching, applauding, or affirming. Discipline is the bridge between where you are and the win that's waiting for you. Your win, your breakthrough, your elevation, your expansion, it's already prepared. But the question is, are you prepared? Because blessings without preparation become burdens. And discipline is the tool God gives us to build capacity for the next level. Every morning I made a covenant with my time. I stopped chasing feelings and started building focus. No more waking up and hoping for a productive day. I designed my days. I built structure. I set boundaries and I stuck to them. Not because it was easy, but because it was necessary. If you don't tell your time where to go, someone else will. Your time is either serving your purpose or serving someone else's priorities. And the more I honored my own schedule, the more my self-worth began to rise. Because self-respect starts with how you treat your time. Time is more valuable than money. You can always make more money, but you can never make more time. And that revelation hit me hard. I realized I had been giving the most valuable asset I owned to the least valuable activities in my life, scrolling endlessly, saying yes to things I didn't mean, entertaining distractions in the name of just 5 minutes. But 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, it adds up. And soon you look up and a month has passed, a year has passed, and the question echoes in your soul, what did I do with the time God gave me? God can give you the vision, but He will not manage your minutes. That's your responsibility. That quote became a cornerstone in my thinking. God is faithful to reveal purpose, but he won't do the work for you. He won't wake you up early. He won't schedule your tasks. He won't shut off your phone. That's on you. We pray for open doors, but discipline is what gets you through them. And if you're not managing your minutes, you might miss the very moment you've been praying for. I wasn't about to let that happen anymore. The world honors results, not excuses. And your future doesn't respond to intentions, it responds to execution. I had to get brutally honest with myself. Was I producing or procrastinating? Was I progressing or just planning endlessly with no action? Discipline confronted every excuse I had. It looked me in the face and said, show me your habits and I'll show you your future. That statement didn't shame me, it empowered me, because it reminded me that my future wasn't up to fate, it was up to me. Discipline taught me to show up even when I didn't feel like it, to write when I wasn't inspired, to study when I wasn't in the mood, to work out when I was tired. Because excellence is not built in moments of convenience, it's forged in the fire of consistency. The more I showed up, the more momentum I built. And momentum is a powerful force. It takes time to build, but once it's moving, it works in your favor. Suddenly, what used to feel hard started to feel normal. What used to be resistance became rhythm. I started winning not because I had more talent, but because I had more follow through. Everyone has ideas, but few have the discipline to execute them daily. You don't need a better plan, you need better patterns. And patterns are shaped by discipline. It's not glamorous, it's not always fun, but it's the secret behind every truly successful person you admire. They didn't just work when they felt like it. They trained themselves to show up with or without applause. And let me say this, discipline doesn't mean rigidity, it means intentionality. I didn't become a robot, I became aligned. I stopped reacting to life and started directing it. I gave every hour a purpose. I decided what mattered most. And then I built my day around that, and I protected my energy like a precious resource, because it is. You can't give your best to everything, so give your best to what matters most. There were sacrifices. I had to say no to invitations, no to distractions, no to temporary pleasures that tried to rob me of long-term purpose. But what I gained was far greater: clarity, momentum, and results. I started finishing what I started. I began seeing fruit from my effort, and every small win built my confidence for the next one, because discipline is cumulative. Each day you show up is a brick in the foundation of a victorious life. Some people ask, how do I stay disciplined? Here's the truth. You don't have to feel disciplined to be disciplined. You just have to make one choice at a time. Win the next 30 minutes. Conquer the next task. Keep one promise to yourself. Over time, that builds identity, and identity is powerful, because when you believe you are disciplined, you'll act accordingly. That's why discipline isn't just about habits, it's about who you're becoming. You're becoming someone who values their time, who honors their purpose, who shows up, follows through, and finishes strong. And that's who I decided to be. Not someday, but today. Because there is no perfect day to start. There is only now. Discipline lives in the present. It says, I may not control everything, but I control this moment. And I'm going to make it count. That's what it means to stop wasting time and start winning. Not by waiting on life to change, but by becoming the change. By becoming a steward of every hour. By refusing to let another day pass you by without meaning. Listen to me. Your future is too valuable to gamble with distraction. Your purpose is too sacred to give to procrastination. And your calling is too important to wait for perfect conditions. Discipline doesn't just change your calendar. It changes your character. It shapes the kind of person who can carry the weight of destiny. You don't need more time. You need more focus. You need the courage to choose what matters and the strength to keep choosing it. Discipline isn't a punishment, it's a path. A path that leads to power, peace, and progress. Every win in my life started with one disciplined decision, and the same can happen for you. If you're serious about winning, discipline must become your daily companion. Not once a week, not when you feel like it, but daily. Because your dream is too costly to be casual. Your purpose is too great to be passive. And your time is too limited to waste on what doesn't align with where God is taking you. So today, make a covenant with your time. Build your structure. Set your boundaries. Stop waiting. Stop stalling. Start showing up. Let your discipline testify to your destiny. Because when you honor your time, you honor your God. And when you move with purpose, heaven moves with you. That's how I stopped wasting time. And that's how I started winning. Not overnight, not perfectly, but intentionally, relentlessly, and daily. And if you'll do the same, your life will never be the same again. You've got potential, you've got purpose, but if you don't master your minutes, you'll never walk in your mission. Because potential without discipline is like a seed that never meets soil. It holds all the power to produce a forest, yet remains unseen and unrealized. God did not give you life so you could merely exist. He didn't breathe purpose into your spirit so you could waste your days scrolling, waiting, doubting, or procrastinating. You were born for impact, but impact demands intention. The time to win is not someday, it's today, right here, right now. This is your moment, and I don't care how much time you think you've lost. Heaven has a way of redeeming time when you commit to using what's left of it wisely. But God cannot redeem what you continue to waste. You must decide today that you are no longer living casually, no longer operating aimlessly, no longer allowing your life to be dictated by delay and distraction. You've wandered long enough. You've waited long enough. You've tolerated less long enough. It's time to step into the urgency of your assignment. Stop saying one day. That phrase is the anthem of the unfulfilled. It sounds innocent, even hopeful, but in reality it is often just fear dressed in optimism. One day I'll start the business. One day I'll write the book. One day I'll get serious about my health, my calling, my purpose. But hear me, someday is not a day on the calendar. It doesn't exist. And if you keep waiting for perfect timing, perfect conditions, or perfect feelings, you'll wake up one day and realize that someday robbed you of your destiny. God is not waiting on a better version of you to get started. He's waiting on you right now. Imperfect, uncertain, a little scared, a little unsure, but willing to trust Him, willing to move, willing to break the cycle, willing to put your hand to the plow and not look back. Because destiny doesn't wait, purpose doesn't pause, and time does not take suggestions, it only takes action. Start with what you have. Stop disqualifying yourself because you don't have everything figured out. Stop looking at what others have and using that as an excuse to do nothing. The truth is, you already have enough to begin. You already have the wisdom of your experiences, the lessons from your failures, the drive that kept you alive through storms that would have killed someone else. You've got what it takes, but you've got to take what you have. Where you are right now is holy ground. The place you're in today might not look like destiny, but it is still divine. God doesn't need a grand stage to begin writing greatness into your story. He specializes in starting with the obscure, the overlooked, the underestimated. Don't despise your current place. Don't curse your current season. Learn from it, work with it, plant where you are. Because when you are faithful in little, God will entrust you with much, with all your heart. This is key. Half effort will never produce full destiny. You can't win giving life 50%. You can't reach purpose living halfway committed. You must go all in. You must decide that this life, this calling, this mission is too important to sleepwalk through. You must get serious about your time, about your energy, about your soul. Because life is not a rehearsal. You don't get another take. You don't get to rewind the clock and undo years of wasted effort. What you do now matters more than ever. This isn't about hustle. This isn't about grinding until you burn out. No. This is about stewardship. It's about managing what God has placed in your hands like it matters, because it does. Time is a gift. Every day you wake up is heaven saying, there's still more in you. Every breath is permission to pursue. Every second is loaded with divine potential. If you stop wasting it and start wielding it with purpose. Because when you stop wasting time, heaven starts moving on your behalf. Doors open, opportunities find you, clarity increases, favor multiplies. But heaven cannot endorse what you refuse to engage in. You've been praying for miracles, but God is waiting on motion. You want a breakthrough? Take the first step. You want acceleration? Start walking. You want promotion? Show up consistently where you are. And watch how quickly heaven responds to discipline. Faith is not just believing, it's moving. It's not passive. It's not just waiting around. Faith is action rooted in trust. And when you activate your faith through focused effort, doors that were locked begin to swing open. Not because you forced them, but because you finally align with the season God has been trying to bring you into. You were not created to survive time. You were created to steward it. You were made in the image of a God who operates in eternity, yet placed you in time for a reason. That reason is impact. That reason is transformation. That reason is to leave the world better than you found it. But none of that can happen until you become a master over your minutes and a servant to your mission. You must get serious about your hours. Stop letting your phone, your past, your pain, or your fear dictate your schedule. Start building structure. Start defining boundaries. Start owning your calendar. Because when you respect your time, others will too. When you stop treating your calling like an option, God will begin to treat your effort like obedience and reward it accordingly. The enemy of your soul doesn't have to destroy you to defeat you. All he has to do is distract you. He doesn't need to take your life. He just needs to keep you from using your time for what truly matters. That's why every moment you give to procrastination is a moment stolen from your future. Every hour you give to worry is an hour withheld from your progress. It's not just about doing more. It's about doing what matters most. So what matters most? Purpose, obedience, legacy, becoming who you were born to be. And you can't become that version of you by accident. You can't stumble into greatness. You've got to be intentional. You've got to be relentless. You've got to guard your time like your life depends on it, because it does. And hear me, it's not too late. You might feel like you've wasted years, but God specializes in restoration. He can accelerate what you've delayed. He can redeem the years that fear, doubt, and distractions have stolen. But He won't do it while you're idle. He responds to movement. So get up, shake off the shame, lay aside the guilt, forgive yourself for the time you lost, and redeem the time you have left. Let this be the day you draw a line in the sand. No more wasted time, no more pointless scrolling. No more entertaining things that feed your ego but starve your purpose. No more giving energy to what does not give life back. From this moment forward, let your life be marked by focus, discipline, and divine urgency. There is a generation waiting on your obedience. There are lives that will be changed when you decide to stop wasting time and start walking in purpose. There are doors that only open when you show up. There are opportunities that only appear when your posture aligns with your assignment. Your yes to purpose is bigger than you. It's generational. It's eternal. It's the sound heaven has been waiting to hear. So decide right now that you will no longer live by default. You will live by design. You will no longer be ruled by distractions, but led by discipline. You will no longer chase comfort. You will chase calling. You will no longer be pulled in every direction. You will move in one forward, because your future is not waiting on a better day. It's waiting on a better decision. This is your moment, your turning point, your divine interruption. From this day forward, you will walk with purpose. You will speak with authority. You will act with urgency, because now you understand time is life and you refuse to waste either one. Let's go.